Ragnarok is like when Odin is fated to die. So he knows until that happens, nothing's going to kill him. So he just goes into like interactions, just being like, "What's up? I'm Odin. I'm not dying today." And
Hello. Welcome to Rock, Paper, Shotgun. This is My Fave Thing, a show we do here at RPS where I chat to one of my lovely colleagues about their favourite bit in a brand new video game. Deputy Editor Alice B has been rampaging their way around the fantastical open world of Assassin's Creed Valhalla's latest expansion pack, Dawn of Ragnarok. So we sat down to talk about the wonders of Svartalfheim for the benefit of you lovely people at home. Enjoy. Alice, you've been playing a bunch of Assassin's Creed Valhalla's Dawn of Ragnarok DLC. That name just rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? What is your favourite thing about this latest content pack?
My favourite thing is the design of the open world. And I know this is basically the same as the last favourite thing, which was about Elden Ring. I've noticed that a few people will like saying Elden Ring's open world is great, and it is. And then they'll sort of rag on Assassin's Creed as part of that because they're very different open world experiences.
Yes.
I think the open world in this DLC is done very well for the open world that Assassin's Creed is doing, right? Still a different experience, but I think they've got quite a good balance, both in terms of how you play it and also what it's like to explore it. So, spoilers if you've not played any Assassin's Creed Valhalla yet, but this is endgame DLC, so it's a bit like the premise of the DLC is a big honking spoiler, which is that the character you play as, Eivor, is the sort of ancestral, the reincarnation of Odin. And in this DLC, you kind of have a sort of DNA dream, I guess, of being Odin on an adventure to find Odin's son, Balder, who's been kidnapped. And Balder has been kidnapped in Svartalfheim, which is one of the realms. You know, in the Marvel films, they have all the different... Thor goes to loads of different worlds. So Svartalfheim is one of them. It's been invaded by the fire giants, the Muspels from Muspelheim, and they've taken Balder captive. And you genuinely, you start off and some dwarves, you've had the shit kicked out of you, apologies, and some dwarves find you and they take you to one of their secret shelters and they're like, look, we've been invaded, we're on the back foot here, off you go. And,
okay.
Like you're left on the top of a cliff and this dwarf just goes, there you go, the rest is up to you now, mate, off you go.
Incredible.
Yeah, and it's Assassin's Creed has been, for a while, they've been sort of trying to move away from having loads of icons on the map. There aren't none icons on the map, but this is another step away from having your hand held all the time. So
interesting.
So the only thing you're told at the start is like, why don't you try and find another one of the hidden dwarf shelters? And the way you find them is they know roughly where on the map they are, but you have to look for like a big flock of birds. The whole thing is a bit, rather than being kind of God of War, it made me think of Lord of the Rings, because it's very like, you know, if you get lost, you're sort of like, look to the sky, and you have to kind of get out of the forest or away from the rock so you can look up and see where the birds are. And then you go find one of these dwarf little shelters, and one of them will tell you, well, there's this Muspel mini boss who's been really annoying, why don't you try and figure that out? And you go and do that kind of thing. And it's all of it is a lot less, there are a lot fewer map icons or quest icons, and it's more, you know, you figuring stuff out. Not full Elden Ring, but it's the Assassin's Creed version of that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with Assassin's Creed open worlds.
I love them. I still think one of the best open worlds I've personally ever explored was the one in Assassin's Creed Origins. So I'm with you there. You mentioned in your last My Fave Thing about Assassin's Creed Valhalla with Colm that your favourite thing about that was how it let you explore in your own way and find things without map markers. So it's interesting that it's still got that core loop here. Yeah,
it's sort of even more. There's even less. Because in
Valhalla,
it will say, like, go and find this place, and then it will give you 3 things that like, it's in this direction, it's near this, and it looks like this. It's a bit vaguer even in this DLC. It'll be like, it's to the east of this, and look for this symbol kind of thing. And it's not like, it's not Breath of the Wild, like, just go and explore, and if you mess things up, that's fine, don't worry. You're still, you know, given a clipboard kind of thing.
Yeah. It's nice sometimes though, isn't it?
Yeah, I like direction. It does feel a bit more like, just go in a direction, you'll find something.
So you also mentioned exploring the world itself, and one thing I really wanted to ask you about is Odin's ability to turn into an eagle or some kind of bird.
Yeah, so one of the things in this, it has obviously every DLC, you get some new stuff.
Yeah.
And the big new thing in this is that you can do magic of a limited kind because you're Odin. I do quite like playing as Odin as well because he's he's like really full of himself because he's Odin. In this, he's called Harvey, which is what the dwarves call Odin.
Right,
and
okay.
Ragnarok is like when Odin is fated to die. So he knows until that happens, nothing's going to kill him. So he just goes into like interactions, just being like, "What's up? I'm Odin. I'm not dying today." And like,
that's
but
amazing.
because you're Odin, yeah, you can do magic. Certain enemies that you kill will have abilities. There are 5. And you basically hoover them off dead bodies. So there's the power of Muspel, which lets you turn into a fire giant. You look like a fire giant, so you can sneak around them and they won't think you're a baddie. And you can walk on lava. There's the power of, I think it's called the power of Frost, which is a similar thing, but it's sort of a Jotun, ice giant power. And you deal extra damage to Muspels. There is the power of Jotun, which is similar, and it disguises you as a frost giant, and you can teleport. The frost giants have little teleport buttons. There is, I can't remember the exact name, but it's a resurrection power, so just every enemy you kill will come back to life as a zombie and be on your side.
All right.
And there is it's power of the raven, and yeah, you can turn into a raven for a bit and just fly about as a raven.
That sounds so cool, because the birds have been a part of this like new wave of Assassin's Creed games since Origin, and the thought of being able to actually fly around a little bit and to kind of just jump out of the bird like Mario and Mario Odyssey is what I keep thinking when I've seen footage of it. Looks quite fun.
It is quite fun, yeah, and you can do air assassinations from being a bird and stuff, and it's quite good because there are there's an emphasis on exploration and high up places and stuff, so it's quite a good sort of shortcut for getting to and from stuff. It's pretty cool. But the whole design of the world, I think, is really nice. It's not as kind of maybe transformative as the Odyssey DLC, Fate of Atlantis, which took you to like different kind of parts of the underworld and stuff. But it's bigger difference than the previous DLCs for Valhalla. And this one, I think, it's a really nice way of doing the setting because you're in the land of the dwarves and they're really, they're known for like mining and creating smithing and making these amazing weapons and things. And the world feels like a very like fertile place in kind of all senses. The grass is very green and they're very bright blue flowers, but then there's all this stuff coming out of the earth, like just big golden mountains that change colour in the sort of day and night cycles, the way the light is. And like even the trees are kind of have golden trunks and stuff. It's just this idea that the earth is like really rich in this place. And then you'll come across like big pools of fire and ice where like the Muspels and the Jotuns have been. And obviously because it's dwarves, there have to be like really massive Lord of the Ringsy kind of statues that are like holding hammers and stuff, big sort of square statues. In the background of all of it are the roots of Yggdrasil, the world tree, and they look kind of like, in the second series of Stranger Things, there's that big kind of spidery thing.
Yeah.
Roots kind of look like that, like they're quite menacing. It's really cool.
Oh wow, it sounds like they've put a lot of effort into the fantastical elements, like considering this is just DLC for an already pre-existing game. They've added like a lot of unique things from the sounds of it.
Yeah. But don't get me wrong, I mean, like some of it you'll find has not ported because it's the same game, but like it's stuff used from the main game. So like you can do raids in this as well. When you do a raid like this, they'll be like, "Aha, Eivor!" And so I'm not Eivor right now, So there's little things like that.
Right, okay.
But it's really good. It's made by Ubisoft Sofia, and I'd like them to do more big stuff, please. Give them bigger things to do. I think they did a really good job with this.
Oh, well, it sounds like they've got very interesting ideas, and I quite like the idea of fantastical Assassin's Creed. As much as I love the historical side, I quite like that they do these mad DLC packs where they're just like, screw it, let's just make you play as an actual god running around a fantasy landscape. It's nice.
It's just fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, why not? So would you, sort of like one last question for you, would you say that this DLC is enough reason to return for people who've played all of Valhalla? Was it 2 DLC packs before this as well?
Yeah, I think so. I've been playing this, I've been like, oh, do you know what, this game's really fun. I want to, Go back and do more. And I think if you haven't got any of the DLCs, I think this is the one to get, if that makes sense. If you can only get one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, if you're going to get one, get this one.
I'm secretly hoping that they release it as a standalone thing, like they sometimes do with their DLC packs, because I'm like, 35 hours running around a nice fantasy Assassin's Creed land. Yeah, I could do that. I could go for that for, 30 quid. Nice. A big thanks to Alice for joining me for this video. Are you planning on picking up Assassin's Creed Valhalla Dawn of Ragnarok? Sweet mother, that title is too long. Let me know in the comments below. Go on, submit your words to the true allfather of this digital realm, the ever-present algorithm. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.